All right, what is good, everybody? We are going to be going over today's trade recap. We ended up making a little bit of money today. We ended up making around 5.2K. I think it was 5.1K. Let's see on the total. Yep, 5.17K, so $5,170 in the day. We're slowly building our way back. Okay, we were down 14K in the month based off of all these 20 accounts. And again, a lot of people talk crap when you go on losing streaks, and it gets a little bit annoying. But over time, and the better I've gotten as a trader, I've started to learn to trust my system better, do the right thing, stick to my risk management, and trust the overall long term game plan. And I just know nowadays that, hey, dude, you're going to go on losing streaks. And that's where most people can't understand. You're going to go on multiple trade losing streaks. You're going to have losing weeks. You're going to have losing months. It's part of trading, okay? It just matters how you do in the long term by trusting your system, trusting your risk management, and trusting overall who you are as a trader and not letting losses define you, okay? So we're going up based off of probability. Every trade you take is based off of probability. Are you going to predict the market 100% of the time? No. Our goal is to learn a strategy and implement that strategy into the markets. Okay, the markets aren't moving off of strategies and shit like that. The markets can move however it wants to move. Whoever's moving the market and they want it in the direction it's going to go, the market's moving that direction. Okay, but our job is to find a strategy where we can implement that into the market and use those tools to identify which way the market's going to go and what it's going to target, and get in and out as quick as possible. Be done, make your money, and be disciplined and get away from the charts. Okay, so today we ended up hitting around a 1 to 2.2 risk reward on this trade. I cut it a little bit early. We could have let it run, but again, been on a losing streak. We hit my 1 to 2 risk to reward. I was fine taking that for the day. I took it, and then we were done. So let's get into this video and go over this trade recap. All right, let's jump in. All right, I'm gonna put myself over here in the top left corner because we ended up taking this trade on ES today. So if you go back and watch the live trading session, okay, I post that every single day. If you go back and watch the live trading session, I post my bias. You'll get a better overall view of what my bias looked like because, again, the charts are already played out a little bit throughout the day. Again, I can't go back and rewind this chart. I can on the right side because we're going to go over ES where we took the trade. But go back and watch the live trading session. I literally go over my bias every single day in the beginning of the video, and then we see how the trading day goes, okay? So coming into today, I was very bearish, okay? Coming in today, we broke structure in the 4-hour time frame on both indexes overnight. As you can see, we broke structure with this candle right here. That's one sign that I want to be bearish, correct? And we had all these low resistance draws in liquidity. We had this 4-hour low, this 4-hour low, this 4-hour low. Those haven't been hit yet. That is a strong draw in liquidity. We inversed this 4-hour bullish fair value gap. We didn't on ES, but we did on NASDAQ. We broke structure on the 4-hour time frame. If we scale down to the hourly time frame, and this is where I liked being bearish at most today. If we scale down to the hourly time frame, we can see we're respecting this hourly fair value gap. We're respecting this hourly fair value gap right here, as you can see. We broke structure in the hourly time frame. We inversed this big ass 4-hour fair value gap. Everything's looking like we're disrespecting bullish confluences and we're respecting bearish confluences, correct? Higher time frame holds higher power. We're bearish on both of them. Both indexes are in sync with each other. They're both bearish. In my opinion, today was the day to go short, okay? We had a bunch of low resistance draws and liquidity down below. As you can see on both indexes, there were higher time frame draws of low resistance liquidity. I thought we could take out all these draws, which we ended up doing. But again, I'm going to explain the trade I took because a lot of people took multiple different trades today, and I just want to explain the trade I ended up taking. So you can see off of market open, let's go to the 5-minute time frame. We'll go over to our index over here that we took the trade on ES. 5-minute time frame. Originally, I wanted this hourly high to get swept and then us to continue down. It didn't happen today. We ended up just dumping on market open, okay? So we end up dumping down on market open. We take out all these draws and liquidity, correct? We form a 15-minute bearish fair value gap, okay? Form a 15-minute bearish fair value gap here. I wanted to see if we can either target that 15-minute bearish fair value gap or if we could come down and take out this 4-hour low, right? If we took out this 4-hour low, I would have targeted this 15-minute fair value gap. But we could see on NASDAQ over here, we ended up reversing, right? We ended up reversing right away coming into this 15-minute fair value gap. We left this 4-hour low down below. So we're overall in a higher time frame bearish trend. It looks like we're going to continue lower, right? We left that higher time frame draw down below too. We took out all the other ones, and that's the trade most of the people took today. They ended up taking a trade off of market open. Something around here. I didn't see anything based off of the way I trade. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I was wrong. But again, we ended up taking out a 4-hour low. I didn't want to take a trade based off of sweeping in a 4-hour low already to continue lower. So I wanted to wait for extra confirmation, see if we were going to form a 15-minute fair value gap, which we ended up doing, right? So as you can see, we'll fast forward, right? We can see that NASDAQ ends up taking out all those draws down below. ES takes out a couple of them, right? We take out this draw. We'll X this out. We take out this draw right here. You can actually keep that here for now because, again, we didn't take out the one below. But you can see we form a 15-minute fair value gap above. We can see that right here. We'll go to the 15-minute time frame. We form a 15-minute fair value gap above, and we also have a 5-minute high in it, okay? We have a 5-minute high right there, as you can see. We have a 5-minute high over here on NASDAQ. My thought process behind this trade, okay? We're in an overall higher time frame downtrend. Higher time frames are showing that we're going to continue lower. We left a higher time frame draw on liquidity after taking out all those lows. We're not just going to leave this low, in my opinion, after just edging it, okay? We still have this 4-hour low we can come take out. We have a 15-minute fair value gap above. I want to see if we can come back and retrace back to that 4-hour low, right? Because, again, we didn't take it out. We left it open. So I ended up waiting for us to retrace into that 15-minute fair value gap, correct? We formed a 15-minute fair value gap. We end up coming right up into it. We end up sweeping out this 5-minute high. We sweep out this 5-minute high. I had a bunch of questions today on why I would take this trade because we have a 5-minute bullish fair value gap right here. And this is one of the trades that I made so many mistakes on, trying to take a 5-minute out of the 5-minute bullish fair value gap for price to continue higher because it looks like it's gonna. But we have to remember, higher time frame holds higher power, okay? So in my opinion, I was thinking, all right, this 15-minute fair value gap is going to get respected, and it's going to disrespect that 5-minute fair value gap because overall higher time frame, we're showing we're in a bearish trend, and we're coming into a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. In my opinion, we're going to push right through that 5-minute bullish fair value gap and continue lower to that draw on liquidity, right? Because in my mind, my draw on liquidity I wanted to target was that 4-hour low on NASDAQ. Again, you'll understand why I took the trade on ES because it was the leading index off of the S&T. But again, ended up playing out, okay? So we scale down to the 1-minute time frame as soon as we come into that 15-minute fair value gap, okay? And this is where I started to see our entry form. So I'm still focused on being bearish. I want to see if we respect this 15-minute fair value gap. We come up above to this 5-minute high. We end up forming a 1-minute S&T, all right? 1-minute S&T right here. NASDAQ forms a high and a higher high. ES forms a high and a lower high after sweeping out that 5-minute high. What do I wait for after that? I want to see a 1-minute break of structure to the downside. So what do I wait for? I wait for our 1-minute break of structure to the downside for my first confirmation, correct? And we end up getting it. Bang. We get a break of structure to the downside. I entered in 2 micros off this trade. I entered half my position size that I wanted to enter, okay? I wanted to wait for extra confirmation to enter the trade full size because, again, we still have that 5-minute bullish fair value gap below. We could respect it. The market's going to do what it wants, but in my opinion, I thought we were just going to start to dump down, dump straight through it, and continue lower, okay? We had this low resistance draws and liquidity right here. My first take profit was based off the end of the 5-minute fair value gap. My second take profit was this low. Third take profit was a little bit below this low, and then I took my fourth take profit for a 1 to 2.2, okay? But as we could see, we wait for confirmation. I mark out equilibrium from this most recent high to this most recent low. I want to see a bearish candle closure out of equilibrium. What do we get? We get a huge bearish candle closure. I enter in my full position size off of this candle, okay? I enter in my full position size. We end up forming a 1-minute, excuse me, holy shit. We end up forming a 1-minute bearish fair value gap. So I decided to move my stop loss down above this high, correct? Just to save some risk. Because if we end up inversing this 1-minute bearish fair value gap, we're going to probably end up continuing higher. But as we can see, we end up going flush through. My break even was at the 50% level of this 5-minute bullish fair value gap. I end up cutting price to break even once we hit that. First take profit was based off the end of this 5-minute fair value gap in case we wanted to wick through it and then continue higher. And then my second take profit was this low. Third take profit, I ended up just taking manually. And then the final take profit, I ended up taking manually too for a 1 to 2.2 risk to reward, okay? I want my original take profit to be here, but I was comfortable on the trade today. We could see we did start to reverse back up, but we just came into this 5-minute bearish fair value gap that we ended up forming, and I should have saw that. But again, I was fine with my profits for the day, and you can see price ended up just continuing lower, taking out those 4-hour draws and liquidity below. So we could have targeted a way bigger trade. Again, not too crazy, but I liked where we took our take profits because, again, we were already up a good amount, especially being on a losing streak. But again, overall, we hit a 1 to 2.1 basically risk to reward right here, as we could see if we mark out where we took our take profits. 1 to 2.18, okay? So overall, that was my trade today. I thought it was a solid trade. There was multiple trades that you probably could have taken today. You probably could have taken a trade to target this 15-minute fair value gap, to reverse back off of it. You could have targeted that first trade that everybody took that was continuing to the downside, but I personally wanted a little bit extra confirmation before taking that trade. But again, we all see the market differently. We all have different setups. We all are comfortable with our own risk, and that's part of trading, okay? So my setup today was based off of a retrace into a 15-minute fair value gap. We swept a 5-minute high, scaled down to the 1-minute time frame, formed the 1-minute S&T. I took the trade off of the leading index after seeing we broke structure to the downside, entered in half of my position, wanted one more extra confirmation. We marked out equilibrium. We ended up getting a bearish candle closure out of equilibrium, entered my full position size, stop where equilibrium would be invalidated, and then target our draws and liquidity that we had down below. And again, we end up hitting a solid trade. We risked around 8.25 points to make around 18 points, making us, I think we made $260 per account. Yep, around $260 per account, and getting us back on a little bit of the winning column, right? Again, we're still down on the month, but we were down 14K on the month, okay? We lost 4 trades this month so far, and we've won 2. And we've got back a good amount of profits. We made 5.17 on this trade, and we made 4.8 on this trade. Again, this was 2 trades with my original risk. First trade we took of the month. I was a little bit excited, okay? I thought I was risking less, but we ended up risking a little bit more, okay? It's part of it. We have those days. But again, we're green on the week now. We'll see what the rest of the week brings. Again, we've been here before when we've been in drawdown, right? That's why we trust our system, trust our risk management, and trust our overall long-term game plan. I truly think we'll build out of drawdown. We'll see how we finish this month. Again, I'm just focusing on each day, right? Each trading day, we'll see what we do. Be comfortable taking my trades. Be comfortable being me. Be comfortable with my risk and my overall long-term game plan, because I know we can dig ourselves out of drawdown. And I feel like that's what truly defines you as a trader, okay? Again, a lot of people talk crap when you start taking multiple losses in a row, and that's part of trading. I just truly believe that if you can work on the skill of just thinking that this is the opportunity for me to show myself that I can build out of drawdown and trust my overall long-term system and trust that I win more than I lose, you can dig yourself out of these holes and keep growing your accounts over time, because these days and these months are going to happen, okay? Most of the time when these days and months happen, or weeks, people go on tilt, they blow their accounts, they try and risk more to get profits back because, again, they're losing multiple times in a row. They blame their strategy, saying shit's patched and all this stuff. You see that all over social media, how saying smart money concepts and all this stuff's patched. And people start switching their strategies, right? So again, I'm here to prove that we can get our drawdown. We could be a profitable trader. We could build these 20 accounts. We can keep moving in the right direction even when we get put in the hole. And we can get ourselves out of the hole. And I'm confident enough to do that. That's what this last 8 months of 2025 has shown me with my strategy. And again, that was my main focus, to try and learn to trust my system. I feel like that's one of the hardest parts. People can't trust their system once they start losing, okay? Trust your system, trust your risk management, trust your overall long-term game plan, and you'll see how much farther you get in trading, okay? Losses don't define you as a person. They don't define you as a trader. They don't define who you are in life. It just matters how you bounce back from anything. It doesn't have to be in trading. Just get back up on your feet, keep moving day after day after day, focus on the long term, right? And again, you'll start to see that in the long term, you do better than you do when you're getting knocked down. If you keep getting back up, you'll just start doing the right things and being able to dig yourself out of those hard times and get to a better position over time. And again, you're going to get knocked down again, right? Whenever you get knocked down, you keep getting back up. And every time you get presented with that opportunity again, when you get knocked down, you start to look at it as an opportunity, as all right, this is an opportunity for me to prove to myself that I could keep moving forward, keep doing the right things, keep trusting my system, and just overall have faith that I can get myself out of this system and not stress out as much. Because again, people stress out about drawdown and when they're losing. And again, they start to go on tilt and do stupid shit. So again, trust your system, trust your drawdown, trust being in drawdown, and look at it as a fucking opportunity that you can prove to yourself that you can get out of these areas. Because when it does happen again and again and again, you don't stress out and you have confidence in yourself of who you are as a person to keep doing the right things to get yourself out of these holes and not listen to all the people yapping and yapping about how you don't do this and that and you're unprofitable and blah, 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 blah. Come on. All right. We're all trying to figure out this trading shit. We're all on our own journey. We all want to be profitable. We all want this to be a living for us. Okay. We love trading. If you're here watching this video, you love trading. If you really want to dedicate everything you can to it, you'll sit and watch through all these videos, right? We're showing the truth of the journey, and we have a bunch of fucking hourly long videos of live market data every single day. Go back and watch those and study those. That's what I do personally. And again, gets you better every day. So I'm going to shut up because I will talk about this shit all day. But again, we had another winning day. We're still down on the month, but we're slowly crawling our way back. And again, I truly believe we can get ourselves out of this drawdown and keep doing the right things. And again, we'll see where we get. All right. Peace out.